production side. So that's something that he's going to be researching very soon before we actually get to go in there, because we want to make sure it's fresh in our mind. So that's why we do it usually a few days to a week beforehand. He'll go in and read all about it, let me know everything about it, and then we try and tell our viewers as much as we possibly can. A lot of the time we go to places and they, there's just no info about it, so we just go in dry and see what we get.
That's good too. Yeah,
I think too with hauntings, and you go into, like, people go into a new building, right? And they say, why is this haunted? It's a brand new building. They've got to realise it's not the building itself. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the land, the history of the land. You don't know what's happened on that site.
Yeah.
So you've really got to, I think, for me personally, when I do my research, is that when I go in there, it's not only the building, if anything's happened within that premises, but I've got to look at the history of the land too, to see. For example, we did a place here on the Sunshine Coast called Murdering Creek Road. Now it's called Lake Weber, that's it. And there was a very hideous past with the Aboriginals there and the way that people treated them.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of death in that area.
Yeah.
Now, when we went in there, I had to research the history of the land and the lake and what happened there. But that's the important thing you've got to realise, is that you've got to investigate what that land holds as well. It's not only what's on it.
Yeah. And to answer your question regarding water, that place is right next to Lake. It's right on the lake, Lake Weber. And we didn't really do an investigation. That was just an exploration video. That was when we first started. That was season 1. Season 1. The little thing there. Season 1, that was at Murdering Creek Road. And, it was right on the lake. And to be honest, we didn't have anything come through. While we're there doing exploration, we thought, let's pull out the app. And at the time, we were using an app, it's not even the Necrophonic, it was a different app. And we had a lot of good responses come through with that. But we moved off that to other stuff into the spirit box. But we had nothing come through. It doesn't mean that nothing won't. It just means that at that time, nothing was active at that time.
Right. So it's so interesting to me, when the different investigations, even that I've seen, it's always so interesting to see what they're close to. Like, is anything helping charge this area? Is there, a lot of times here we have limestone that the rock that's under where a location is, or if it is close to water, or, here in the South, there's this big thing with crossroads and railroad tracks. And, all of these areas seem to have this energy that can't really be explained. So it's really interesting to see how that correlates with different, investigations that people do. I love, watching different experiments be done, like trying out different things when you go on your, your investigations. I think that is such an awesome thing to incorporate that into investigations. That's something that I love to do. What about you guys? Do you do anything?
We've done a K2 experiment on one of the season two at the
Peachester Cemetery.
We took another paranormal with us, group, RJ Cox. We took them with us, and we did a double K2. So we used 2 K2 meters, and we were using them at separate sides of the ends of the grave. And we had a lot of things happen there they were both doing the same thing at 3 meters, 4 meters apart, and they were doing the same thing. And when we asked it to do one thing, it did that, and it did the other. So, but we've got a new, which I'm not going to give it away.
No.
It's a surprise. But for season 4, we have a brand new experiment. So make sure you keep an eye out for it. We've got a brand new experiment that we've got to try out. So one of our subscribers gave us the idea, and we'll drop his name in our video when we actually do it. We'll give him a shout out.
Oh, well, good luck. I brought up something really interesting then. How exciting. Yeah. I love that. I just love when people try stuff like that, because, a lot of times, sometimes, these investigations that are put up kind of get the same old. And, when you do something like that and add that little element of excitement to it, it just makes it, that more intriguing to try something different. For instance, the one that I just did, we tried a remote viewing exercise with one of my teammates that didn't get to go with me. And it was amazing what she was picking up on. I mean, and, you know, it was just unbelievable. I mean, it was such an interesting part of the investigation. It honestly kind of took over what I was doing because she was almost seeing through me, and it was just crazy, you know. But I did see a couple of videos where you did the sensory spirit box sessions. You know, those are wild. I have not done that yet, but tell me about the one where you got touched, because that was crazy. Yes. Oh my gosh, it was nuts. That was amazing.
Basically,
yeah, Dan, you were outside, right, when you you started? Okay, so okay, y'all set it up because it was just so cool.
Okay. So basically, you can finish it. I'll set it up. Okay. So basically, Pete's downstairs underground in the actual bathhouse area.
World War II bathhouse.
World War II bathhouse. Now, yeah, that's the World War II bathhouse video for your viewers that don't know what video we're talking about. That's the one in season 3. Now, Pete's downstairs in the actual in the dark. We've got him set up. Now, we had our friend Simon come along with us. He was doing the camera work for us that night. Him and I went upstairs, and we were standing up like way out. Couldn't hear him downstairs. We're way up. Anyway, we started asking questions. But what happened was, I set record on the phone because we use this phone that we're recording on now to do the static cam for him. And we hit record. It didn't record. So we done a whole sensory depth session where he was getting touched, poked, prodded, the whole works, stuff coming through. It didn't record a thing. So we had to do the whole thing again. Well, luckily we did, because the activity had been ramped up, that when we recorded it this time round, the second time round, we looked at the camera, made sure that it was recording. We showed that on the camera as recording. We went upstairs, bang, he started getting touched, poked, prodded. He had voices come through, not actually through the SB11 spirit box, but he actually heard a voice yelling at him from outside, from right next to him. And yeah, if you watch that video, it's a lot.
It's
that's
amazing.
It's the most physical activity that you could have done.
For me, sitting in there, like, I love doing sensory deprivations. For me, it's a way I can connect further with any spirit that's there. But that one was the most intense one I've ever done. Like, apart from getting poked and prodded and everything that happened to me when we first did the camera failed, I'm like, oh no, do we have to do this again? I started panicking. Yeah. So, like, subscribers want to see, we've got to do this. And, I've got this one. But the second one, it literally killed. Say, for example, you sit in the chair and you ask someone to come up and touch you on the knee.
Grab your knee. Yeah.
Grab your knee. That's what it felt like. I freaked out, and then I got poked in the back. I could hear voices beyond, like male voices saying, hey, what are you doing? That's what it sounded like to me. And then it felt like there was a presence there with me, to be honest. I felt uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it, but it wasn't bad uncomfortable, if that makes sense. But it was one of the most intense sensory deprivations I have ever done. And I love doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty full on.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, it was, yeah, I definitely got chills watching it too. I mean, I definitely did, because, you know, you feel so vulnerable. I mean, I know I would feel like, okay, I like to be kind of more in control with all of my senses in, you know, this environment. And when you take those away, you really are more vulnerable to what's going on around you. So I can't imagine what that was like.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of a sensory deprivation. By taking 2 of your senses away, it opens you up a lot more to experiencing something that's paranormal. And I think it's really important. If you're going to do any form of paranormal investigation, I recommend anyone to try it at least once to get that feeling and emotion of what's happened in that area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely worth doing. Yeah, another one we do is we also do a candle experiment. We've only done it once or twice. That one was at Ian's place. Season 3, we did a live candle experiment. So we filmed it as per normal with an episode, but we had a friend with us that actually did the live. They did the camera on her phone. She did it live on Facebook. YouTube.
We also did Leanne's house with the because we do private home investigations as well. And we did the same candle experiment, and that was really good to watch because the flickering of the flame.
Yeah. But it happened really good at Ian's place because we had the 3 candles set up, and we had we were pretty sure we had the child of Ian's mum come through that she had lost many years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was very emotional for her. She was very
I
emotional.
bet.
But, great experiment. So we're going to try and do that a bit more. And this new experiment that we're going to come in. Oh, you're going to like that one.
Oh, I can't
And
wait.
we are definitely going to use this too. Eventually, we've got to work up to the Ouija board, but I think if you use a spirit box, Ouija board is just another way of communicating. I know Hollywood gives a really bad rap on Ouija boards, but you've got to think, if you use a spirit box, it's the same. You're doing the same, accomplishing the same thing, but in a different way.
But the good thing is we also know now how to open up the session and close the session properly. So we wanted to make sure we researched it before we go into using them.
Thanks to our friends at Haunted Down Under.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Sure. That Nadine and the crew. But
I got a question. Okay, I have a question, and I ask everybody this because I've heard different conflicting answers. With the Ouija board, have you heard if you leave the planchette on the board that keeps the portal open? Have you ever heard that?
I haven't heard
I've never heard that. No, I've heard that
you've got to close.
You've got to open and close it. One other thing too is a lot of people don't realise this, but with the planchette, sometimes you've got the glass eye in the middle. When you're actually communicating, you've opened the board up and you've got communication, you can actually take that planchette and look through it, and you're actually meant to be able to see the entity that you're communicating, that you're talking to.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard that, but I have heard about the planchette. If the planchette is like when you store it, like say you do your session, you close it out, and then you go to store it and you put the planchette on top of the board, that actually is keeping the portal open or keeping it open. And I mean, this was something that someone had told me a while back. So I was curious if you had ever heard that too.
No, I've never heard that. We might have to research it up and have a look, but no, I've never heard that before. Makes sense. It does make sense. It does.
It makes you think. It's like, well, I definitely need to check into this because, I've heard it from I can't remember exactly where I heard it, but I always ask, when there's, the Ouija board, or if you're going to use it, I'm always curious if you've heard that, because some people have and some people haven't. So that's just more for me.
Yeah.
The only thing I've heard about the Ouija board is that you have to close off your session. Yeah. Because if you don't, you've opened something up. Yeah. If you don't close the session properly, that spirit can stay, or that entity can stay. So you've got to be very careful. 3 circles open it, 3 circles to close it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good. That's you're teaching me stuff.
3 circles hello, 3 circles goodbye.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, good. Well, guys, I can't believe we've already been talking almost an hour, and I want to make sure that we get all of your social media platforms in there. So make sure, tell everybody where they can find, your channel on YouTube. Tell them the name again. Okay, so we are Nightwatchers Paranormal Australia. You type that into YouTube and you'll definitely get us come up first, or somewhere there anyway. Now we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok now. So we've got our own website, www.nightwatchersparanormalaustralia.com.
Still a little bit under construction.
Yeah, it's still there. It's there, but we're doing a bit of work.